All right. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
So Ryan and Michelle, Community and Council of Realty, here with Sachi of Nakato Japanese Restaurant. Sachi, thank you so much for being with us today.
Oh, thank you so much for supporting us. We appreciate it.
Oh yeah, no, we had a great raffle, as you know, a couple of weeks, well, on Halloween, about 2 weeks ago, and it was a huge success. There was the Fabu Face Spa was our other business that we were sponsoring, and I mean, just so much outreach, so much demand, really, for the gift card for your restaurant and for them, and so it was a lot of fun. We hope to be able to do something like that again soon. But yeah, thanks for being part of that. Yeah. So. Today, let's just have a quick conversation about, your humble beginnings. What I know, how many years has Nakato been in business here in Atlanta?
We are coming up on our 48th anniversary this month. So my grandmother started it back in 1972 when, sushi was considered fish bait around the neck of this wood. So fast forward 48 years, third generation. My mom and dad ran it right after my grandmother. And it's been a really cool ride. Just the responsibility is huge and a lot of pressure, but I think the dynamic of the restaurant industry has changed, especially in Atlanta too. So it's really nice to see all the James Beard Award, participants and nominating going on in Atlanta, and it's a very diverse, group to be in with the Atlanta market. So I really appreciate all the support, and I think when my grandmother came to the U.S., she was doing a Southern tour and found so much love and hospitality in the South. And so that's why she decided to set roots in Atlanta and be a part of that moving forward in her, last stages of her life, to go out with a bang. So this is what she built up, and I look forward to continuing it in Atlanta.
That's amazing. So early 70s, you guys arrived here, and so one of my favorite things about our business, real estate, particularly residential real estate here in Atlanta, is just watching, and I'm an Atlanta native, watching the city grow and evolve and change. Now, I grew up in the suburbs. I can only imagine what Cheshire Bridge specifically, and then like the neighborhoods around Cheshire Bridge. What was that like? What was the community like back in the early days of the restaurant?
Right. I can only speak for what I remember from probably the mid 80s on, because I was born and raised in Atlanta, and the restaurant was already in motion when I came into the picture. So from the stories, it was definitely residential on Cheshire Bridge. And we actually purchased the house where the restaurant is now, back in the 80s. And so with that being said, Cheshire Bridge was known for maybe a little bit of a diverse, red light district of Atlanta kind of feel. But then moving in the past 15 years, I think a lot of that has changed with, commercial buildings going up, apartment complexes going up, and it's becoming more of a community setting versus an industrial setting. So we were able to be a part of that change. And I think back when we rebuilt the restaurant in the early 90s, when the Olympics were coming in 96 to Atlanta, there was a lot of Japanese businesses and international business coming to Atlanta. So our family decided to go big, and I think the AJC told us that we overinvested on Cheshire Bridge, and I think that's a funny story looking back, because we're still here and the investment has paid off. So we're very fortunate on that, and I think that has to do with a lot of my parents having the guts to do so and go all in a community, and knowing that it could be supported.
So I believe that probably in the beginning, and certainly I know today, Nakato is a destination restaurant. So I know people come in from all over the country and the world, like business travel and what have you. And of course, I'm sure the Olympics helped put you guys on the map even more so than you were before, right? But you were referring to the neighborhood growing up, the residential part of the neighborhood kind of growing up. Do you have? Is it starting to feel kind of like a neighborhood restaurant? Like you have a lot of locals coming in from the neighborhood regularly?
I think I felt that more so than ever with COVID happening. Like, uh, we had regular guests who have been supporting us for the past 15, 20 years and beyond, and 3 generations of guests too. Grandmother brought in the grandkids and everything. And so um, I think with that aspect, we learned so much of the support was coming from the neighborhoods who were worried about us and didn't want to lose us with COVID, because there's so many restaurants that are going out and businesses that are struggling. So we felt that more than ever now.
I'm sure. I'm sure. One of my favorite things, one of our favorite things about your restaurant is when you walk through the front door, really as soon as you get on the property, you start to feel like you're somewhere different. You're somewhere that's not like anywhere else really in Atlanta. And then certainly as you walk into the front door and the dining rooms, and whether it's there for hibachi or one of the private tatami rooms, there's just something authentic to who you guys, and you can just feel the Japanese culture from the people and from the decorations, and of course the wonderful food that's there. I'm not even sure what the question I'm trying to ask is, but like what would you attribute that to? It's obviously more than just the finishes and the decorations. There's something deeper and richer that's in that restaurant. What would you say about that?
So I think we're not just serving food and service at our restaurant. It's a very cultural experience, and it's like you said, it's an experience versus just sit down, have dinner, pay for it, and leave. And we pride ourselves in that too, because we want to showcase our culture. And the first thing that to a heart is through the stomach, and with the food. So it's we try to create it into something that is more of an experience than anything.
Well, so with the pandemic, obviously things have changed for everybody. We were talking before we went live that you guys have opened the dining room up relatively recently. You guys have been serving carry out for some time now. What would you like the starved restaurant goers of Atlanta to know about what you guys are doing right now in terms of being able to provide some level of what you guys do to the general public?
Right. So with COVID, we had to pivot big time, especially when we decided to be safe and close the in-house dining of everything. But whether it be people who are comfortable to come in and dine with us now, or to only focus on to-go and curbside pickup, we are very versatile in that sense, and can although we've limited some of the menu items due to COVID, and what would travel well or not well, or what we can get in terms of inventory, because a lot of the imports had slowed down or shut down with the pandemic. So we just had to get creative, and we focused a lot on the packaging as well, to make sure that it's traveling from point A to point B, without so much shifting, and just even the system that we had a tent in the front of the business at the beginning, but then we realized we're getting into winter, and so we have to pivot again, because we don't want the food getting cold or getting too hot, or vice versa. And if it's raining and hurricaning, like, how are we gonna have our staff go in and out without getting drenched? And so we've made a makeshift almost drive-through for Nakato now under the parking lot. We have a little bit of a covered parking, so we're utilizing that, and back ordered heaters and things. So just we're constantly transitioning and pivoting for what the restaurants and businesses have to do with this pandemic going on, and making sure that we can stay connected at the same time.
what is the atmosphere and the feeling of the people who are coming inside the restaurant? Are they nervous or are they comfortable, or do you see the whole spectrum?
I see the whole spectrum, and we have multiple dining rooms. The hibachi area, it, people are coming in wanting to celebrate a birthday, and we have, they're ready to celebrate and do so safely. We've spaced out a lot of, we're at half capacity in the hibachi area with partitions in between parties, and not taking more than 10 people per group. And so there's that aspect. And then the traditional dining side, we spaced out the dining room, and it's really a different feel where it's not as full, but the to-go has been helping us counteract that space. And so sushi sales have actually been really good post-pandemic compared to when we were regularly open, surprisingly. So that's a whole dynamic that I wasn't ready for or didn't understand either. But I guess you can start making your own bread or trying to make your own entrees and potatoes and proteins at home. But when it comes down to sushi, that apprenticeship skill level that you need to make sushi or to source sushi, I find that maybe people are wanting to come out and have sushi from a professional versus trying it at home.
Well, or I think all of us sushi lovers are just completely addicted to sushi that we've got to get our weekly fix.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Well, I will say I felt like, and, you have to look for the silver linings anywhere that you can in life. And, having small kids in a pandemic like we have, it's sometimes fun, right? Exciting. However, it has also prepared us because we've been avid to carry out, customers of yours since we've had our first, who's now 5. So it's always been everything we've ever gotten from you, carry out, has always been perfectly prepared and tasted great, whether it was the sushi, whether it was hibachi or anything like that. So we're old veterans at the sushi carry out.
But we love how the restaurant is so family friendly. I mean, we are very considerate, and we will go in at like 5 o'clock right when you open, and it just feels like a family. I mean, I remember one time you gave our little baby whatever was in your office because we couldn't get him to calm down to eat. It was like that chocolate thing. and then everyone, like, people know us by name there when we walk in, and it's just such a nice feeling at home feeling.
I appreciate that, and we strive for that. And this restaurant is the most diverse in terms of clientele. We have the corporate executives coming in for course meals and striking business deals. And then on the other side, it's a 2-year-old's birthday party all in one roof. So it's very, I tell my staff, if you can make it at Nakato in the restaurant industry, you can make it any restaurant industry, because we have the gamut of, you want it to be fast casual to all the way to formal coursed out dining. So if you're able to, shift according to what you need to be, you'll make it anywhere.
Right.
All right, so let's have our Hollywood minute here. We were on your Facebook page and we saw one of the Wilson, I think it was Luke Wilson, put in a picture. So, well, I've always heard he's a really fun guy to be around. Is that true?
Did you notice him on that?
He was so cool. I didn't want to bother him so much, so I was getting the secondhand from the server, and I was like, "What's he like? What is he asking for? What is he eating?" It's been a while since I had an A-lister come by, so it was really nice, and I was kind of starstruck because majority of high school and college was
Oh yeah,
his era of movies that I really enjoyed watching. So that was really cool, and he's so down to earth. I think he was joking with the server of slowly bringing out the credit card so he can show the name, and he's like, "You want a photo? You want a photo, don't you?" He's like, "Yes."
That's
We got
great.
a photo op at the end, so it was really cute. Yeah.
So there's nothing better than, meeting a celebrity and then they are just, a person, right? They're just
Right, and authentic and
Approachable.
genuine. Yes, it's very
Yeah.
refreshing.
Are your tatami rooms open right now?
Right now, we have not opened it up because it's such an intimate dining space, and the service level, for each dish, you're doing, up down motion with the staff and serving one by one. So just until it calms down a little bit, we're gonna hold off on the tatami room and the sushi bar, just because we can't get the 6 feet from the chef to the guest. So we closed off that area. So we're just focusing on the hibachi and the garden dining right now.
Wonderful. Well, is there anything else you'd love our viewers or anybody else to know about, your business, where you guys are right now?
I just want to encourage everybody to support local businesses, regardless of restaurants or, just any mom and pop operations. With the holidays coming around, I think everybody could benefit from that, and just making sure that we support the local businesses, whether it be a gift certificate, whether it be, merchandise. We just would really appreciate that moving forward as we try to get through this together.
How long are your gift certificates good for?
Over a year for sure.
Wonderful. So someone can buy stock up on the holiday gifts, get them out, and then pandemic will clear. Hopefully this vaccine proves out to be successful, and by spring or summer, we'll have a full house with gift certificates and everything.
Yes, for sure.
Now, are you also in contact with a lot of other restaurants? Is the restaurant industry kind of working together a bit?
It's so interesting because once the pandemic hit, everybody was personal messaging me through Facebook of how are you guys doing? What are you guys doing in terms of this? What did you decide to do? How are you opening? And so that kind of network just worked out by itself. And I had, so many people reach out, and vice versa, and just giving out free information and, what we learn without, any guidance. And so depending on what worked for them, you don't know, but it's just a good network to have. And that opened up my eyes to see hey, yes, we are in this together, and let's help each other out in whatever way to make sure we get through this.
Right. And how is the staff? How's their mentality now versus at the beginning of the pandemic?
I have a dream team. They were able to pivot and go outside of their job description, cleaning, sanitizing, moving furniture around. And, without the dining room, I need to make sure that my staff is, making some kind of money too. And so we asked them to, can you focus on to go and taking orders over the phone? And these are, people who weren't comfortable, doing that during operation of a regular restaurant. So everybody is very versatile now. And so we have a really strong team that we got through, the worst with. And so we just wanted to make sure that the core is with us and we're taking care of each other and moving forward. And, once we open up more, when the pandemic's dying off, I think hopefully we can get back to the normal volume. But at this time, we have our core and we've been dedicated to it, and, just pivoting together.
Yeah.
There's been a lot on the news lately about these divided times that we live in. It's so refreshing to see the coming together of the restaurant communities, the neighborhood communities, just people leaning in, supporting each other, loving on each other, saying we are going to all get through this together. So I love hearing that.
Yes. And I appreciate you having this platform for us too. I couldn't ask for more. So thank you for reaching out and inviting us.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it's the little things. It's the least we could do, certainly. And on that note, right, so anybody watching now or later, find the Nakato Facebook page, like it, Community Council, like our page, spread the word of mouth. It's so powerful. And just do whatever you can to support Nakato. You got any local business, really, but particularly today, Nakato. Yes. You guys are fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, the live stream is stopped.
Thank you. That was awesome.
Yeah. Oh, wait, I forgot this is our